on my left, she told you a while ago she's from down in Pickens County, Alabama. Her name is Ginger Hammond Boatwright.
I'm kin to.
That fella over there on the end with that guitar, he's from Bristol, Virginia. His name is Roger Rasmussen.
Those of you who missed it this afternoon, Mitch James came up and he did some of the show with us. That was an awful lot of fun. But if you don't believe this is one of the darlings, Douglas, give them your darling look. Come on, how many of you want to see the darling look? Mr. Douglas Flint Dillard. Let's give him a big hand. He's the only one of them who had a line in any of the shows. You couldn't hear him, but you could see his mouth moving. He said, "Great beans, ain't big." We're going to do a song that he wrote that Andy had on the show, and they called it Slimy River Bottom. That's not the name of it, as y'all know, and it certainly made Charlene cry. Did y'all notice that Douglas is the only one she ever kissed in any of those shows? She sneaked right up and gave him a peck on the cheek. Yep. She ad-libbed her script. Get up there and tell these people. Y'all want to hear some of this stuff, don't you? What went on backstage?
Well, I just told her that the director asked why she did that, and she said she wanted to, so they just left it in.
How many of you saw the one where they were snoring? How did y'all keep such straight faces? How'd y'all keep those straight faces?
Wasn't easy, wasn't easy.
We'll tell them about that in just a few minutes. Right now we're going to do this song for you. This is just like Douglas wrote it and just exactly like Andy Griffith named it. He said, let's pick Doug's tune on the next segment.
it in the movie, nobody would believe it. You know, Ginger told me to come out here and say a few words, but it makes me a little bit nervous to stand up on stage like this. I had an uncle one time standing out on stage, kind of like watching him. Thelma Lou wouldn't like that. Yeah, he's standing up on that stage, and he slipped and fell down through this hole in the middle of it. We all believe he'd have broke both of his legs if it hadn't been for that rope around his neck. Hey, some fella backstage there told me about these two boys that was learning how to skydive. And they got up in the airplane on the first day. They were supposed to jump out of the airplane, and they jumped out, and this one boy reached over to pull his ripcord, and he caught a hold of something else, and he yanked it right hard, and his arm flew off. Well, the other boy almost panicked over there, floating down through the air, but he saw that fella with his arm tore off, reach up with his other hand, and he caught that arm that was flying up in the air, and brought it back down and stuck it right on his shoulder, and got something out of the pocket, and reached over and stitched that arm back on. Then he reached up, and he pulled the other ripcord, and they floated down real peaceful-like. Well, that boy that nothing happened to him, he looked over at that one that his arm flew off, and he says, man, he said, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And that other boy looked at him and went,